Hi there, my name is Toby and today I want to take you through some neck and back release exercises. So this can release even a crick in the neck, if you've got a crick in the neck, or a stiff back, and even a headache. This helps if you've got a headache. I do this for all of these things, and at the end of a hard day's work, because I work physically in a workshop, then I will do this sort of thing to release out my back and my neck, because you can't help it sometimes. The pressure builds up and we're always leaning forward. So when you lean forward, you've got to counteract by stretching up and leaning back. So the very first thing I'm doing here is for the neck. All I'm doing is lifting up the rib cage and the shoulders, up and back, shrugging upwards. So it's activating the trapezius muscle. Then I can look up. And when you look up, it's like your head is resting on your shoulders. It's very important. You've got to lift them up, shrug up and pull back. Only then can you drop your neck back. And what you're doing is pinching the trapezius muscles and activating the neck, twisting it a little bit left and right. You're creating a high tension, a stretch in the shoulders and the rib cage, and a stretch in the neck, but safely, because your shoulders are protecting it, and then you're twisting a little bit and stretching it under tension. So what you're doing here is drawing the blood up to the back of the neck, the trapezius muscles, and gradually move it. And you saw me there also massage the back of the neck. Here again, twisting left and right, looking up and twisting left and right with the neck. But only once I've created this lift and stretch in the scapula, the trapezius muscle and the rib cage. And then you can again roll your shoulders. Now look here, you see the main problem is you're hanging forward. So what you've got to do to counteract that is lift up and back. Now here's the next one, hands behind the head. Now the same thing, you've got to lift your shoulders up and back, lean back with your head, pull the belly in so you don't stick your belly out. Now you arch back, but really open up the shoulders, open up the rib cage, lift them up, shrug upwards, and then stretch back like you're leaning in a chair. And you're trying to activate the midpoint and the scapula, the thoracic spine. You're trying to arch the thoracic spine backwards because that's the one that's always hunching forwards, and you stretch forward with your arms. So now you counteract that by pinching it backwards and arching it backwards and then twisting. Look up, arch back and twist a little bit, trying to localize into your spine. So you're creating this tension, this stretch. And now here the hands behind. Again, the same thing. Look, I'm interlocking the fingers behind, but I'm lifting the shoulders up, opening the rib cage, and only then do I try and straighten out the arms and look up. I'm pinching together the shoulder blades, lifting the trapezius muscle and arching back in the mid-spine, T1 I think, in the middle of the thoracic. I'm trying to get that arch backwards, but all of the spine, actually it's all of the spine right up to the neck, when you're squeezing them and stretching them and then twisting and even looking left and right. And then when you relax, you see that muscle gets relaxed. You see, you've always been going the other way, so now you've got to pull it backwards instead of forwards. Concentrate on the backwards arch instead of the forwards hunch. And that's where you got the pain from, that's where you got the stiffness from. And when you do this, creating high tension and then relaxation, you're creating blood flow. Blood flow to the neck, blood flow to the brain. Experiment with this, pray with this. You see, do it a few times and relax. Do it again, relax, and you'll feel the blood flow. Now, more dramatically on the edge of a sofa. I've got quite a sharp sofa here, but you can do a softer sofa. Same thing, but I can localize it into different vertebrae. Right up to the neck, gradually go down vertebra by vertebra, arching back, trying to feel the stretch at a particular place. Now, the lower you go, the more careful you've got to be. This is quite dangerous, so you've got to go ever so slowly and carefully. And again, a softer sofa or a softer pillow, or even a yoga ball. You can do it on a yoga ball, it's more gentle. But I do this quite advanced. I'm actually localizing into the vertebra. I'm doing my own sort of chiropractic. And sometimes I actually manage to click out each vertebra one by one. Again, that's advanced practice, so I don't recommend you do that necessarily. Here's another easier version. You do it this way. So you lean sideways, but again, leaning back. Again, open up the rib cage. You really got to arch in the thoracic spine. Lift up the shoulders, open the shoulders, pull the elbows back, arch your head back, stretch your neck back. And again, you can do a bit more here by arching back, gradually adjusting your weight. But it's much safer than the other way because you're controlling your body weight with your feet. But you can see how much of an arch in the spine I'm trying to create. I'm bending the spine back the other way because all day long, if you're working hard, you bend it the other way. Now again, lower down, but now I'm pushing my arms into the sofa again to support my spine because it's getting more dangerous. You don't want to bend right backwards at a low spine, the lumbar spine. But here again, I can localize the sofa into individual vertebrae where I feel the stiffness and feel the pain and release it out. Now here's the next one. Again, still for a crick in the neck or the upper spine, even the lower spine, but it's the shoulders. In yoga, this is cat-cow. So that was the cat position, arch back, and now it's the cow position. But still different. What I'm doing, you can see I'm dropping my body weight down and letting the shoulders go backwards. You can see the shoulders are going up and back behind the neck. Now I project the shoulders forwards. Now I arch back, drop the shoulders behind, using the body weight of the spine to sag down. I'm sagging the spine downwards and letting the shoulders stretch backwards, backwards, backwards. You've got to relax the shoulders so that they really stretch. And look up. I've got to look up so I'm stretching the neck backwards like before. Again, careful control of the belly because you're arching the spine, but a little bit of a spine arch is fine in the lumbar. Now the same thing going shoulder to shoulder. Really trying to stretch each shoulder joint. One is being stretched backwards, I'm relaxing into it, and the other one I'm dropping down. So I'm stretching the shoulders alternately. And the same thing you do, it's a similar thing here, sitting down. Again, shoulders pinch behind. Really stretch the shoulders up and then push them backwards. Push the shoulders backwards, lock out the arms, so I've really got an arch in the spine, projecting them backwards, look up, again, pinching the trapezius muscle, stretching the neck, arching back in the thoracic spine and the lumbar, and once I've got that, stretching the shoulders, but I'm activating the shoulders, the scapula, pinching them behind, then I shift my weight side to side, create a more dramatic stretch in the shoulder and the spine, a slight twist in the spine, and that's also the neck. I'm twisting the neck a little bit side to side. Looking up, I'm looking up because I've got the shoulders shrugged upwards. They're going up and back and my head is resting on them. It should feel pleasant. No pain, no pain. This should be a pleasant, relaxing stretch in the mid-spine and the neck. Now again, another one, stretching outwards, but now I've got to straighten up the spine. I project the hips backwards. So you see I'm projecting the hip joint, pulling the belly in, stretching it down, really trying to elongate the spine, but I'm stretching out by projecting the hips and elongating the spine. Again, arching back, looking up. Now leaning in, same thing, but what I'm doing is letting my body weight sag down, but I'm letting the shoulders go backwards. See, I'm again, stretch forwards, shoulders go forwards, but now the shoulders go backwards. Open the rib cage, arch back, and I'm actually trying to take the stretch into the rib cage. Now, once you've got the hang of that, you can actually practice more dynamic now. This is a structure. Here you can see this is Kung Fu Tai Chi structure. But once I've got this perfect spine, I can push into the wall and then pull into the wall, or rather the banister. I'm pushing and pulling alternately. But it's the same spinal alignment. And you'll feel it from the hips, through the structure, through the spine, through the shoulders. Shoulders up and back. And then the last bit, I'm just a bit more dynamic, pushing and pulling. So this is now a strength building exercise, an alignment exercise, a Tai Chi exercise, trying to maintain the neutral spine, neutral shoulders, and control it from the hips and the legs. So ultimately, when you do things in the day, you want this sort of spinal alignment. Shoulders go forward and back. Again, you can see it. I'm pushing myself forward, but letting the shoulders go back. I'm creating a stretch in the mid-spine, a stretch in the rib cage, the shoulders. So I hope this made sense. Might have to look through this a few times, but this is the way you can release the spine, the neck, even a crick in the neck and a headache. Do the neck exercise if you've got a headache. So I hope this made sense. Please do let me know how you get on and leave me any questions. And thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in any of these other videos here.